Hi, I'm Gregory Iron, independent professional wrestler who also has cerebral palsy. And while I do have a little bit of notoriety, my pals in the business have more notoriety because they're toys and I'm not. You might say that my friends are figures, action figures, that is. And today I'm going to look at some of my friends that are action figures. If this man won't fumble boxes over here. Hey, these are collector's items? What? What? Multiple figures? What are we doing here? We're out of control. We got Butch, the Blade, the Bunny. Some call him the Butcher. I call them Andy, Pepper, and depending on my mood, it's either Laura or Cherry Bomb.
Is that one of the things wrestlers do? Like, you call other wrestlers by the ring name they have when you met them?
You know, I think it's a case-by-case basis. Like, I think the prime example of important wrestlers that aren't Gregory Iron would be like Mick Foley. A lot of people that knew him back in the early 90s will still call him Cactus. I don't know. Like, sometimes, like, find it weird when, like, Gargano will call Chuck Taylor Dustin and Trent Beretta Greg. And I find that weird because, first of all, I should be the only Greg in Johnny's life. I'm not being jealous. I'm just saying that's the way it is. Side note, I'd like to point out that one time Johnny sent me a photo. He was at a gas station and he had picked up like a keychain that said Greg on it. And he sent it to me. And I said, "You sent this to Trent first, didn't you?" And he just texts back, ... "You got me." Because I knew he would never take the time to send something like that to me. Because he's a piece of garbage. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, it depends on the situation. Like, I guess another example would be Joaquin Wilde. I will never call him Joaquin Wilde. To me, he's either DJZ or more than likely I'll call him Shima. Shima Zion, that was his first name. So to me, he's always Shima. It just depends on the situation, I guess. Some people call him Mike because that's his name. Yeah. Andy, Pepper, and Laura will always have a special place in my heart. Actually, coincidentally, I'm wearing my Pepper and Andy, Jesse and Andy Kickin' Ass podcast shirt back when they did that podcast. I guess I should start in the order in which I know these individuals. Pepper Parks, I knew basically when I first started in wrestling. He used to do a show called PWX in Pittsburgh where I would wrestle. And, I mean, technically I knew Pepper Parks before I knew him because he was very prominent in HWA. He would always make the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines. And so to be on shows with Pepper Parks, as lame as this sounds, was always kind of surreal because I knew him from the magazines. And so I don't know, I thought he was like way above my caliber of wrestler and definitely way above the caliber of a PWX wrestler, because if you know anything about PWX in Pittsburgh, they didn't pay the wrestlers shit, and it's a great place when you're starting out, but not for a person like Pepper Parks. You know, he deserved better. For a long time, I thought Pepper deserved better. Incredible physique, incredible psychology, and just a great guy. I think my fondest memory involving Pepper would be there was a time in the New York area where we got the opportunity to wrestle each other, and I think we had been on like a string of matches separately from each other where we were just wrestling dog shit guys, and we both came into this match being like, yo, my confidence is down, I need to have a good match. And it was a babyface match, and we just went out there and we tore it up, man. And you know, we profusely thanked each other afterwards, and we also beat the crap out of each other. And that's when you're wrestling someone that's your friend, you know, you're going to hit each other a little harder, but you're also going to have better chemistry 9 times out of 10. And I always had great I always had great chemistry with Pepper, and getting to know him on a more personal basis over the years, getting the opportunity to stay with him and Laura at their house over the years, probably the highlight of my relationship was staying the night at Pepper's house and having him make the Pepper Parks pancake and egg breakfast with his egg whites in the morning. I just, if you ever get the opportunity to get some egg whites from Pepper Parks, make it happen. It's good. And you might end up looking jacked like Pepper. So, Laura, Cherry Bomb, the bunny. I mesh well with her because we have a similar taste in horror movies. We have the similar, like, nerdisms, I think. Is that a word? Is that a term? I don't know. Laura's a great person. My best and fondest memory of Laura actually involves the time she almost murdered me in a match. We were wrestling in a tag match. It was actually her and Pepper versus me and who was I teaming with? It was a girl up in Canada, so it was an intergender tag match, and it was really just a throwaway spot in the tag match. Pepper and Laura were the heels. They go to pull the ref. Pepper pulls the ref. Laura's on the apron, and I'm in the corner, and so, typical heel spot, she chokes me while the ref has his back turned. Now, in wrestling, when you choke someone, you don't really have to choke them. You just kind of, pretend that you're choking them, and I'll go, Here's the thing. Cherry Bomb was for real choking me. Like, the tightest chokehold anyone has ever put on me in my life. Legitimately. I was like seconds away from passing out, and she had it so locked in on me that I couldn't talk. I couldn't even like pinch her arm to be like, "Yo, what the fuck? I'm dying here." So I just dealt with it. My face is purple. I'm gasping for air. And just before I'm about to go out, thankfully, she lets go. Afterwards, we're having a discussion. We're all exchanging pleasantries and thanking each other for the match. And Cherry Bomb says to me, "Was everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, great, except for the part where you were choking me for real." And she said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I was about to die." And so then the next year for her birthday, we just happened to be on a show together, and I gave her an 8x10 of that photo signed to her. And I think it increased our connection a little more. And again, when you're friends with someone, you're going to hit them a little harder, and I guess in some cases, choke them a lot more legitimately. Andy is a guy that I can't believe I've become friends with. As a young, angsty teen, I like to listen to Every Time I Die. I don't know if you would pick me as a guy that's into metal, new metal, metalcore type music, but I was an angry young man, okay? And I loved his band. I just happened to be doing Warped Tour. I believe it was 2017. And I saw that Every Time I Die was on Warped Tour. And I knew that Andy was dabbling in some pro wrestling. And so I ended up tweeting him a little challenge. And instead of replying to me directly, he DM'd me and he said, "Hey, can we really do a match together?" And then I was like, "Yeah, we could definitely make this happen." And so we did some talking with the promoter, and we worked it out to where we did a tag match at the Vans Warped Tour, and it was so hot out. I wrestled at Warped Tour a few times, actually, and it was never a good idea. Somehow the promoter would always use a black canvas, so it made it even worse. So, bumping is, you might as well just go, play in boiling water, because it is bad. It's bad. You want to try to avoid falling down at all costs in these scenarios. But me and Andy had a great match. He got a lot of coaching from Pepper, who's one of his best friends, who happened to be there and has been helping him with his training. And I was one of Andy's first matches. And fun fact for you, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at length one day, Andy is the reason, one of the two reasons, that I ended up on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, because he saw value in my story. He made the connection with the producer of the show, and, you know, because of Andy, my friendship with Andy, I'm now friends with Stone Cold. So these three, probably top of my list of friends, and I haven't seen them in forever, but I stay in touch with text messages, and last time I saw Laura was at an autograph signing a few months ago in Philly, and, you know, it was like we never missed any time at all. So truly value my friendships with these three individuals, and I'm glad that I got this figure, because this is like $100 figure, okay? Crazy. Got it for a good deal. I'm so lucky. Do you have some favorite figures? Are any of your friends' figures? Comment below, and if you want to hear more stories like this, check the archives, subscribe to the Iron on Wrestling channel, go over to patreon.com/Iron on Wrestling for bonus videos, and let me know what you want to see from this channel. I'm an independent pro wrestler. I'm sure there's stuff you want to know, some secrets of the trade. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again real soon.